All right, welcome in everybody. Patriots postgame live after a dominant win against the Falcons. Another incredible showing from New England, this time on national TV. Only game of the day, Thursday night football. You know how it works. For the world to see. Put it on display. And it was about as good as it gets for the second week in a row. And I say second week in a row. That Panthers game wasn't too shabby either. That Chargers game was a pretty good performance. That Jets game was incredible. They aren't just on a 5-game winning streak. These games haven't been close. Even the Chargers game. The Chargers made that a one-possession game. They were up 2 scores with a couple minutes to go in that game. They are running they are running like house on these teams. It's not even close. They're look like one of the best teams in football right now, if not the best team in football. Like I heard this narrative sparking up this week about the Patriots playing like the best team in football, and people were pushing back. People were saying that's too much. You're going too far with this. The Patriots are good, but best team in football, that's way too far. That's not too far. The teams cannot even compete with them. They can't even hang with them. The Atlanta Falcons, what were they, a half game out of the wild card this season? I know that they're missing some pieces, but that team, like even like a great player like Kyle Pitts, like if I told you the Falcons were to come into this game with Kyle Pitts and the Patriots weren't even going to double him, he faced single coverage most of the night. It was Kyle Duggar one-on-one most of the night, and quite frankly, the Patriots handled it. Pitts had like 3 catches in this one. Pitts was almost a non-factor. An incredible showing. Justin Wolpert, give him a shout out. I told him I'd mention his comment first. Shout out to Justin. He's been texting me saying the Patriots are back. I know Adam texted the Patriots are back. And Justin, he's saying to win the AFC East, the Patriots have to win 2 of the 3 of the Titans-Bills games. Beat Indianapolis, Jacksonville. I mean, Justin, that's too much. That is too much at this point. That's 12 wins, Justin. That is 12 wins. They don't need 12 wins. I'm telling you, if they split the Bills games, and if they lose to the if they lose against the Titans next week, if they split the Bills games and they just beat Miami and Jacksonville like they should, that's 11 wins. It's 11 wins on the year. And the Colts. Throw the Colts in there because they should beat the Colts. 11 wins this year for the Patriots. I mean, they should, quite frankly, pretty easily make the playoffs from this point. I know you're saying the division, and the fact that we're even saying they need to do this to win the division, like the fact that we're even talking like that is insane because the Bills are a pretty good football team. So we think. They haven't really been tested this year. See how they do these next few weeks. Mini tests for them against the Colts, not really a test. The Saints with a backup quarterback, and is it a test? The Saints are still playing pretty well. But I will tell you what, with the way the Patriots are playing, we can start talking about division. We can start talking about playoff. We can start talking about divisional round. I had my friend, shout out Zando over at the Guy Boston Sports, Zando Arzamani, and shout out to him. Tell me, 175 to 50 over the last 5 weeks, over this winning streak. 175 to 50. And I didn't know if the Patriots were capable of winning by that much. I didn't know the Patriots were capable of winning 5 in a row. The only thing that gave me doubt coming into this game was, is this Patriots team with a rookie quarterback, are they really going to win 5 in a row? 5 games in a row? I know it's the Falcons and they're banged up, but it's, short week rookie quarterback. Is this a trap game? Is it a trap game? This team is too good right now to have a trap game. They are not going to get trapped. Now they have 10 weeks to prepare. Sorry, 10 days, not 10 weeks. 10 days to prepare for the Derrick Henry-less Titans. In one of the games of the year, that game is going to be incredible. The lead up to it. I hope the Titans win this week to add to the buildup of that game. Because I'm telling you what, Titans, Patriots, riding 7-game win streaks and 5-game win streaks, that will be a sight to see. That will be game of the year candidate caliber going in, and I hope it lives up to it. It's year. Thursday night games are never pretty, but I'll take it. And Justin saying, Matt Ryan, all-time choker. Matt Ryan didn't have time to choke tonight. He just flopped on the national stage. He folded. No choke here. He didn't even get himself in a position to choke. And saying Thursday night games are never pretty at Skier. I mean, understandable. It wasn't pretty all the way around, but the result is pretty. The result looks good. A shutout, 25-zip. That score looks nice. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people look nice tonight. Kyle Van Noy looking rejuvenated, 2 sacks, the interception, pick 6. You don't even need to kick off the Sunday games. Like, NFL, this is a message to the NFL. Whoever hands out players of the week, like, just give it to Kyle Van Noy now. It doesn't matter what happens on Sunday. It doesn't matter what happens Monday night. Kyle Van Noy is your defensive player of the week, and it's not close. Like, it is not close. Nobody on defense is going to do as much as Kyle Van Noy did tonight. The pick 6 and the 2 sacks, you could have made an argument his hat was in the ring for that before the pick 6, and then the pick 6 seal, like, no. And if you want to throw the team accomplishment in there, the shutout, 0 piece from the Falcons. I know they were lacking weapons, but a 0 piece. Got to feel good about that. They had a chance for a couple field goals. Of course, the penalty, like, classic Falcons, man. Talk about the Falcons just folding on the biggest stage. They get the field goal to go. Illegal formation. Then they miss the next kick. They're in field goal range again, 4th and 1. They get stuffed on 3rd and 1, stuffed on 4th and 1. I mean, it just worked out perfectly, and the Patriots get the shutout. Incredible stuff. An incredible game from the Patriots. I see that's Mike saying, people expect Mac to force it, but that's where mistakes are made. Yeah, bro threw a pick, but he's a rookie. He's playing amazing. Great dub tonight. Go Pats. Mike, this is what I'll say. The Mac Jones throw, it was so unfortunate because it came right after that dot to Hunter Henry, and that was a dot. Like, what Mac Jones did on that throw to Hunter Henry, that was impressive stuff. It was double. I mean, he had 2 defenders in the area, 3 if you want to be even a little bit extra with it. 3 defenders kind of around him in that general space. Put it just in a perfect spot for Hunter Henry to go out and get it. And that was beautiful. Checking this back here. So that Hunter Henry throw was great. And then on the very next play to throw that pick, it wasn't, I don't want to say it was demoralizing because I think that's a little strong. But it was just like, man, you were on a little bit of a run here, and you couldn't get that one you couldn't get that throw to go. I mean, the thing is, Mike Reese checked it. Mike Reese tweeted it out. A couple other people said it, that he had the check down on that play. Mac Jones had the check down. He didn't need to force it into Jonnu Smith on that one, but he wanted to keep going. He was feeling himself. Jonnu Smith, to be fair, Jonnu Smith did not fight for that ball. Like, Jonnu Smith kind of, he let himself get beat to the ball there. So a little tiny bit on Jonnu Smith. But, I mean, to that point, Mac was pretty much perfect. So he makes the one mistake. It doesn't really cost you. Would you have liked a better game for Mac Jones? 1 touchdown, 1 pick. On the surface of it, sure. Mac Jones could have played a little cleaner. But the fact that they can win like this and Mac Jones still has this room for improvement, like, whew, they are a damn good team. They are a really, really good team. When I look across the NFL right now, if I look at all the best teams in the NFL, and you're talking about Bills, you're talking about Bucks, you're talking about Cowboys, teams on your schedule this year, there aren't a lot that I view as better than the Patriots. I'll even go this far. I'll go as far as to say this. I am not certain that there is a team in the AFC better than the Patriots. I am not certain that the Patriots aren't the best team in the AFC. And the fun thing is, we're going to find out over the next 3 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks, with these Titans games and the Bills games coming up. We're going to be able to see if the Patriots are better than the Bills or better than the Titans. They're going to be playing them. So we're going to get our answers there. The Patriots are going to be going up in this game against the Titans. And if they win, we'll give them the credit. If they beat the Bills, we'll give them the credit. So you might say right now, you might take the Bills in the power rankings. You might take the Titans in the power rankings. You probably do, but I'm not certain. I'm not certain they're better than them, and they'll have a chance to prove they're better than them over the next 2 weeks. That's what's fun. That's what's really fun about this. So I'll say this: I'm not saying they're the best team in the AFC. That's not exactly what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that I am not convinced. I am not convinced that the Falcons are, or sorry, I'm not convinced that the Bills are better. I'm not convinced that the Titans are better. And those teams are going to have to prove to me they're better. They're going to have to beat the Patriots to prove that they're really, that they're really all that they, can they can show it on the field. And that's what's great about it. That we, as for as hot as the Patriots have been, we don't have to debate this answer for very long. If they're better than these teams, we're going to get our answer. We're going to find out over this span. And the Titans without Derrick Henry, I mean, I know they played well without him, but when is that bubble going to pop? When is it going to? When are we going to look at the Titans and say, yeah, that team, you got a lot of talent there, but you got a good defense and you got some weapons on the outside. So we'll give you your credit where credit is due. But are we really ready to anoint this team? Like, I don't know. They lost their best player still. Maybe they're riding that high from being motivated, saying we're gonna do it for Derek. We're gonna play well for Derek. We're gonna get our team back on track, and we're gonna do it for him. And all this stuff. Like, maybe they're riding that high a little bit, but I'm not really ready to go as far as to say that I'm confident that they're gonna take care of business. I'm honestly, I still think that eventually they're going to lose that kind of momentum. They're going to lose that high that they're riding off of the Henry stuff and using his motivation. They're going to play the Texans this week. They might let up a little. You got 10 days to prepare for them. The Texans might soften them up a little bit. Weak opponent, soften you up. And they'll be vulnerable. They will be vulnerable. Eventually, they're not going to go undefeated without Derrick Henry. I'm sorry. There's not. So there's going to come a time where the Titans are going to be right for the pick. And it might be this week. One of these teams, something has to give. 5-game winning streak, 7-game winning streak. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited for this one. Zando saying, Bentley Ballin on the low, needs more respect. There is only one player on this defense to me that I have any questions about, and it's Jalen Mills. Like, Jalen Mills is the only player I look at, and I'm like, I'm not sure about that guy. Everybody else. Bentley, I mean, Hightower's been iffy this season, but he's reliable when it comes to it. Had some good, nice plays tonight. Looked pretty quick. He looked better this week. I'll say that much. Bentley, Hightower, Godshop front's been good. Carl Davis, I had a few plays today. Blew up a run play at one point. Was in there on the 4th down stop. Okay, Christian Barmore, Matthew Judon, Kyle Van Noy, Kyle Duggar, Adrian Phillips, Devin McCourty, J.C. Jackson. Even Miles freaking Bryant is playing like a beast right now. Everybody on this defense is so good. And the only guy I'm like, Jalen Mills on the outside of second corner, had the penalty tonight. But if you only have one iffy spot and it's not really costing you at the end of the day and you're still shutting teams out, I mean, you can have a good defense with 10 out of 11 great players. I'll tell you that much. And I'll tell you this, too. The fact that Winovich isn't even able to see the field. Ronnie Perkins isn't even able to see the field. You lost Josh Uche and Jamie Collins, and you still feel good about your linebacking core. You still feel great about your linebacking core despite losing those two guys. Like, they're so deep. They're so talented. This defense has to be the best in the league. Like, tell me. I mean, it's up there at the very least. I don't know where they rank in points per game right now, but after tonight, it's got to be up near the top. Let's see. Points allowed NFL 2021. Let me pull the stats up real quick. The Bills are up there too. The Bills are up near the top. I don't know if this is updated, but right now, Patriots were number 2, 17.7. It is not even updated, actually. Their last game isn't even on there. So let's see. Quick math. 17.7 times, what do they have coming tonight? 10 games. So there's 177 total points allowed. So 177 divided by, it's got to be 11 now. That is, I'm going to do this on a calculator because I'm not bothering to do this. 16 points a game. The Bills are averaging 15. 16.1 to 15.0. Man, and the Bills have had the easiest schedule. The Bills have had the easiest schedule offensively by efficiency and defensively by efficiency. Both sides of the ball, easiest schedule in the league. It's crazy. If you separate it by both sides, who has the easiest offensive schedule, who has the easiest defensive schedule, Bills have had the easiest on both sides. So the Bills really haven't been tested, and you're going to be a real test for them. So the fact that they're number 2 to the Bills and it's close, that really says something. And no other team, I mean, Green Bay is at 18, like, not really too close at this point. I mean, after the game tonight, 25-0 over the Falcons. Can't say it enough. What a great showing that was. So we'll have to see. Titans, again, like I said, that game. And now we're looking ahead. It's not, that's very next week. Now, I mean, it does not get better than this. I'll tell you that. The Patriots are white hot right now. What, like a star in the sky. They are scorching. I mean, I didn't expect this. Didn't expect this at all from this team this season. If you told me that at any point they were going to win 5 in a row, especially after those Bucs and Cowboys losses, whew, man, I would have taken 3-2 over that stretch, 4-1, 5-0, 5-0. If you remember, 4 weeks ago, I think it was about 4 weeks ago. Okay, after the Jets win, we looked at the upcoming schedule, and I said, Chargers, Browns, Falcons, Panthers, all in that mix, all in those next 4 games. I said, you're gonna have to go 3-1, and I thought that was asking a lot. I said it's asking a lot, but you're gonna have to go 3-1 if you want to make the playoffs, and then we can talk. And it's gonna be tough. Maybe you split the Chargers Browns games. You got to beat the Panthers and Falcons. But you got to go 3-1. And they went 4-0. Like, I think I said this after they beat the Browns, and just double down now. There is no chance, 0.0, a negative chance, less than 0% chance that they miss the playoffs. It's not going to happen at this point. Even if they don't win until those last 2 weeks, I mean, Jaguars and Dolphins, that is easy. They can go 1-3 over the next 4, and they should still make the playoffs easily. They can go 1-3 over the next 4 weeks, and they should still make it. Look who you're competing with. The Bengals kind of falling apart. The Raiders falling apart. The Broncos wavering, falling apart. That's your competition for a wild card spot, at the very least. Forget about the division, just for a wild card spot. That's who you're competing against. Doesn't look too stiff to me. Doesn't look too stiff at all. Am I forgetting one team in the AFC besides those? Let me check. Double check. We got the Chargers. They're in the mix, but the Chargers are probably going to make it. I'm even allowing. I'm just looking at the teams that are on the outside looking in right now. Raiders, Broncos. I did forget one. Raiders, Broncos. You got the Colts and the Browns in there, and the Bengals. So Browns, Bengals. Browns and Colts are the two I missed. Browns and Colts. You have the tiebreaker over the Browns. You'd have the tiebreaker over the Chargers if it came to it. And you can get the tiebreaker over the Colts with a win there. You can. You can get the tiebreaker over them too. Then all of a sudden, if you have to compete for the wild card, you'd be at quite the advantage with the teams you'd be they're in that spot too. So all looking good. Let's get some of the more of the comments in the chat. Everybody pretty hyped after that win. Saying we need 11 to get in. To win the division, maybe. To get in, you don't. You might get in the playoffs with 9. You might get in with 9, honestly. Really. I mean, when you look at the AFC right now, the playoff picture is, the worst wild card team, I think, is the Chargers at 5-4, 1 game over 500. And what is it? Chargers and Steelers are in there. So yeah, the Chargers 5-4, and then you're competing with 5-4. Like 9-8 might get you in, especially if you have those tiebreakers, which they do right now over a couple of those teams. So we'll see. I think we can make it out of the divisional round easy. So out of the divisional round. Hey, you know what? Let's go here, man. Let's talk about it. Why not, huh? Let's talk about playoffs. Let's look at your playoff. Why not? This is what we used to do with the Patriots. Remember? Remember when we used to, the playoffs were just a foregone conclusion? And we were like, all right, what's the playoff picture looking like this week? Who might you face in the playoffs? Who do you want to play? Who do you want to avoid? Let's do it. Let's get back to it, because as everybody said tonight, the Patriots are back. They are back. And can't stop this train now. I'll tell you what. I was hesitant. But 5 in a row, that gets you on the bandwagon real quick. Right now, your playoff matchup, if the playoffs started today, it would be the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Chiefs, Patriots, Patrick Mahomes, Bill Belichick. Belichick's defense versus that Kansas City team that is just struggling. Their offense has wavered at times. They've looked good at times. They're very inconsistent. Their defense looks so easy to drive through. And that would be your playoff matchup. Chiefs, Patriots. That would be a good one. What about the Ravens? You could end up playing the Ravens, right? Ravens, if they win the North. Classic matchups between the Patriots and Ravens over the years. Another classic opponent you could be playing. Heck, you could be playing the Bills. If things go a certain way, you could be playing the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. And do you think, after everything that's happened in their history, after everything that's happened over the last 20 years, that the Bills really want to be standing with a home playoff game as one of the expected best teams in the league, expected to be the best team in the AFC, expected to go to the Super Bowl? Do you really think they want to stare across the sideline and see the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, after 1 year out, back in the playoffs and looking poised? I know poised. I hate to say this because I started calling it crazy, but poised for another long run. I'm not going to say Super Bowl. We're not talking Super Bowls. I'm not talking 6 Super Bowls, but consistently a playoff team, like what the Steelers have been a little bit. I think I realized over the last week, you know what a good comp for Mac Jones is? Phillip Rivers. Not the best, not the strongest arm. Very accurate. A little bit of a psycho. Okay, Phillip Rivers never had the best coaching, but Mac Jones does. So if you had Phillip Rivers was on the Patriots for 15 years. How good do you think he would have been? I think he would have been Big Ben. Two Super Bowls. I think that's what you could be looking at with Mac Jones. That next tier down, the Drew Breeses, the Big Bens, the Phillip Rivers. I'll throw him in there even though he's never won a Super Bowl. I think you're looking at that quality of quarterback. I'm not talking Tom Brady. I think that's obviously crazy. But that next tier down, sure. And you know what? If I'm the Bills, some Bills fans, man, they got to be sweating bullets at the prospect of playing the Patriots in the playoffs. So any one of those would be great matchups. Bills, Ravens, Chiefs. First round, any one of those you can dig your teeth into. And hey, you know what? Let's say you win the division or something else wonky happens. You know who else you could be playing? The Steelers. Big Ben. Big Ben on his last legs against Belichick. Another great matchup with some history there you can dig your teeth into. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun, man, if they can make the playoffs. Throw the Chargers in there. You've had some short history with Justin Herbert, 45-0. Another win over him this season. You have some history with the Chargers overall, doing things to them, in the playoffs. Remember the Sean Merriman or whatever, the lights out dance. Some good history with the Chargers, too. Any one of these teams, say the Browns sneak in, all juicy stuff you can really, really gotta like. So if we're talking playoffs, I know, I feel like, who is it again? The playoffs guy, was it Jim Mora? Playoffs, 7-4. You're talking about the playoffs at 7-4? Hey, I don't think it's too crazy. Belichick versus Vrabel slowdown, absolutely. And Vrabel, Belichick, they built some history here in recent years. Who knows? That could be another playoff matchup potentially that you could be looking at. Vrabel's given the Patriots a tough time. If they beat him, if the Patriots beat Vrabel and the Titans, after this primetime showing, and it sucks that game isn't getting flexed to primetime because that should be primetime. Titans Patriots should be primetime. If they beat Vrabel at that 1 o'clock game, oh boy, people are going to go crazy. The national media is going to go crazy. They might already after this game. Take that to another level if they beat the Titans. all of a sudden, you're talking about Patriots in the Super Bowl seriously. It's not a pipe dream anymore. If they beat the Titans, we're talking about the Patriots as a legit, serious Super Bowl contender. Bonafide this year if they take that game. One win away from those conversations being real, not being lunacy, not being something that you could get called an idiot for bringing up, not something you could called like an idiotic take. The idea the Patriots could be a Super Bowl contender. How outrageous. If they beat the Titans, not anymore. That stuff, you got to take that stuff seriously. You have to take that stuff seriously. That's Mike saying on any given night, any team can win. I think anything past the first round is a W for the season. So you're saying if the Patriots get past that wild card round, it's a win. Absolutely. You have to take that. After the season they just had, if they get past the first round, you got to take that. But, we got to take it as it comes. If they end up having that home playoff game and things go a certain way, you got to see how those games unfold. I mean, I know people expect Super Bowls in Foxborough. I know that's too much to ask of a rookie. But let's see how it all plays out. The idea that we can even be talking like this is exciting. We can even be talking about the Super Bowl and whether or not it's in play is a serious conversation now. Serious. This isn't like last year when people said the Patriots were going to go to the Super Bowl. That was insane. Now it's not. And you're saying also, I think this season we will make history. Matt takes us to the Super Bowl, and there it is. There's the Super Bowl. I don't hate being definitive about it. I'll say contender, but definitively Super Bowl, still a step too far. I think it always is. Any guarantees like that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. As a Saints fan, I am happy. Thanks, Patriots. It is wonderful. For the win over the Falcons, I mean, you're welcome. I don't think you had anything to worry about with the Falcons in that division. They were falling apart at the seams. Their only good wins were against bad teams. I don't think the Falcons were going to give you much trouble, but you're welcome nonetheless. All scores in the world is low to Falcons. Falcons, something like that. I'll tell you this much. 25-0. 25-point lead for the Patriots, 25-point win. 28-3 was a 25-point lead too, 25-point difference. So they didn't win 28-3, which I know some people were rooting for, but they did win by 25, which is the same deficit they faced. How about that? 25-0. That's gotta be something, right? That's gotta count for something. You're ignoring me. I went to your comments. Sorry, I was a little late. Sometimes I get a little ranty. That's what happens on the post-game show. Trying to see. That's I gave you. Nick Gray saying, "But you want the Steelers in the playoffs? That would be good." I know there's some new blood in those matchups. With Najee Harris and Chase Claypool, so different faces, but you still got Mike Tomlin, Ben Roethlisberger, Bill Belichick. The owners are the same. The uniforms, everything. It's just I know Patriots uniforms are a little different, but you get the gist of it. It's all there. It's all there for you to sink your teeth into. So you got to be excited for that. If the 49ers get their mojo going, do they contend this year? I know we're going to ask about all these other teams. I mean, I'm going to a 49ers game in actually this week. I'm going to the 49ers game in Jacksonville. I'll be at that one. And I'll tell you this. There's just a little behind the scenes. I don't think anyone's listening that's this released to. Doesn't matter if it did. They are anyway. But my girlfriend told me her family's all 49ers fans, so that I have to root for the 49ers this weekend to get a win. I'm not feeling great about it. It is Jacksonville, so they should pick it up. But I mean, the NFC is pretty wide open. I mean, yeah, if the 49ers, they just beat the Rams, so they're looking pretty good. If they beat Jacksonville, it should be an easy win. They're right back in it. So look, as far as the 49ers are concerned, they have plenty of time to right the ship because the NFC is not good right now. So if you want a wild card berth, they can contend. Sure, they can get back in it for that. What is that fit? What, you don't like the little blue jacket? Come on, man. I just told you about my girlfriend. She said she likes this color on me a little bit. In my defense. But hey, to each their own. To each their own. I'll say that much. The collar might be popping a little bit. That's on me if the collar's popping up a little bit. Got to fold that one down. That's giving me a little bit of trouble. But hey, man, I like it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I respect. I can respect that. You might differ a little bit on that. But besides outfit choices aside, how to wear the blue for the Patriots. Blue. You were blue today. You were going against red, as you can see in the thumbnail. They're going with a lot of blue red or those ones lately. But I'm going against the Falcons. But hey, man, you have to be happy with this game. A couple other notes I wanted to touch on. Ramondre Stevenson. Another incredible game. 69 rushing yards today for Stevenson. 12 carries, 5.8 yards per carry. Harris, 5.6. The combo of those two, so nice. I mean, somebody mentioned it last week. Those two as a duo, just hammered back and forth, and they split the carries today. Stevenson had 12, Harris had 10, and they were both very effective on the ground. So you're talking about not putting too much wear on either of them. You remember, at the end of that Dolphins game, people said part of the reason they thought Harris fumbled was because the Patriots ran him into the ground. Too many carries. He was gassed. Well, now Ramondre Stevenson's playing like this. So neither one of them need to be gassed. You can have the dual threat in the backfield, and how do teams stop this? With two energized running backs, with Trent Brown playing healthy, playing fresh now, and blocking for you. Like, your running game is arguably the best in the league right now. As of right now, week 10 on, week 9 on, 10 on, whatever it is, week 10, last 2 weeks, your running game has been too electric. There was a point tonight where Stevenson was averaging 7 yards a carry. Then he had that carry that was called back on the David Andrews hold. He looked nasty on that one. Stevenson, I'll tell you what, he's arguably your most talented skill player. I would go as far as to say he is. Hunter Henry gets some touchdowns, but he doesn't do much elsewhere on the field. I think Stevenson's your most talented skill player. He's been fantastic. And your running game is better because of it. I mean, those two together, it's going to make the Patriots running game tough to stop for the rest of the season. And how about Mac Jones? We mentioned the touchdown, the pick. Not a great game from him in that standpoint, but the completion percentage was great. He's going to climb. I don't know where he's going to sit in the league after this week. I'll see if I can do some quick math on it. But Mac Jones' completion percentage has to have jumped over 70%. I think he will be at least third in the league in terms of completion percentage after this week. He was behind. I think it was Kyler Murray number 1. He's not going to catch Kyler. And then you have Dak number 2, and actually Teddy Bridgewater number 3. I think he's definitely jumping Teddy Bridgewater. So I don't think you'll have to worry about that. As far as Prescott and Murray go, he's not jumping Murray. He might jump Prescott. So let me do the math here. 22 of 26 today, right? So that would have been, 245 divided by, we got to do that plus, so it'd be 349, I think, his total attempts this season so far. So let's see. Completion percentage of 70.2. I think that definitely puts him ahead of Bridgewater. And Dak Prescott, let's see, I can look up Dak right now, actually, way more easily than trying to find these standings. Prescott this year is at 70.3. So depending on the game Dak has this week, Mac could climb as high as number 2 in the entire league in completion percentage. Kyler is might be a pipe dream to ask him to drop that far, but if, it's just, you're asking Dak Prescott to drop 0.1% this week, and you could be looking at number 2 in the league. Even if Mac doesn't jump Dak, you know who you're looking at for the top 3 completion percentages in the NFL? The only players over 70% completion in the NFL, Kyler Murray, MVP candidate. Dak Prescott, MVP candidate. Mac Jones. That's your quarterback. That's your quarterback right now, and that's the company he finds himself in. So absolutely have to be excited about that. In the defense tonight, the sacks, Judon got another one. He's making a case. He's got to be at least an all-pro this year, the way he's playing. We said it before the season, your best defensive player. He's been electric. He's been electrifying. Matthew Judon's been way too good. Incredible force. J.C. Jackson, another pick. Not to mention the ones by Phillips and Van Noy. The defense is really, really good. The running game is really, really good. It's your quarterback is really, really good. And that has the makings of a real contender. I'll tell you that. And Mike saying, ride or die Pats fam, can't be doing the 49ers jump. And I understand, hey, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Pats have Sunday off, so I can change for a week just to support the 49ers, NFC team. It's fine. And saying he's going to sub to the channel. Shout out to Mike if you guys haven't subbed to the channel for sure. We got tons of great content. Just hit 4,000 subscribers. That was awesome. So thank you guys as always for tuning into these streams. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the support you guys are giving night in, night out to every different piece of content we've had over here. It's been fantastic. Nick saying Stevenson was a better runner than Harris. And I've been saying this for a few weeks now. I agree. I mean, not a few weeks. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't go that far. But ever since last week, and even the game against the Panthers too, I mean, Stevenson looks strong. He looks fast. He's throwing stiff arms at people. Tonight, you could see how quick he was on his feet, made some quick decisions, great cuts to get to the open rushing lanes, which were wide open at times, but he had to adjust a little bit to get to them. The guy is smooth. The guy has moves, okay? He has an arsenal, all right? So Ramondre Stevenson, to me, is the better runner. I think you saw that tonight. Damian Harris was fully healthy. Ramondre Stevenson led the team in carries. It was 12-10. And I think those two will split reps. And Harris looked good too. Harris looked good tonight. He won a little bit. He won me back a little bit. But I think it's going to be a combo of those two. But when you need to hand it off in a key spot, to me, it's Ramondre Stevenson. When you need a running back in a key spot, to me, it's Ramondre Stevenson. To me, as a rookie, he's better than Harris is right now as a third-year player, fourth-year player, whatever it is, third year, I think. So, personally, I'm with you. Ride Ramondre Stevenson, but use both of them because you don't want either of them to be gassed. If you have two effective running backs like that, take advantage of it. Absolutely. Mike saying, I live 20 minutes from Tuscaloosa, so the fact that he won 2 national championships here and our Patriots drafted him, I couldn't be happier. Hey, shout out to you, Mike. I know a lot of people have mentioned the Patriots, Alabama connections, the Nick Saban company. Hey, you also got Christian Barmore here. You got Damian Harris. So a lot of Alabama players making an impact on New England right now. So you got to feel good about that. Absolutely. All right, we are officially past midnight, coming up on the 40-minute mark. I'm exhausted. I'm sure some of you guys are exhausted. I think that's where we're going to call it for this one. 25-0, dominant victory. And who knows where it goes from here. I mean, after 5 in a row, I wouldn't put anything past this team. They've really exceeded my expectations here over the last few weeks. Far and away. I was worried about the Browns game. They blew them out. Like, they're not – that's the thing. I'll say it. I said it at the beginning. I'll say it again. They're not just winning these games. They are dominating these games. It hasn't been close. Whether it's the Panthers game, whether it's the Browns game, whether it's the you throw the Jets game into that too, or tonight against the Falcons. They are a really, really good football team. They are a great football team. It's fair to say that at this point. Great defense, really good quarterback, really good running game. That's all you need. That's all you need. Thank you guys for watching. As always, do really appreciate it. As Mike said, he mentioned it. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss Patriots post-game stream live after every Patriots game. Tonight, it was the Falcons game. Thursday night cooking a little bit. Next week, it'll be game of the week, arguably. Game of the week caliber. Titans, Patriots. Game of the year caliber in that one. So you're not going to want to miss that stream. No, we're up against the NFL games, but you can tune into both. Check your phone. Put the little bell icon on, whatever you need to do. Just be back here Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but Sunday, whatever it would be. I guess today's, let's see, quick math, 28th. Now I think it'll be come back here Sunday, the 28th for Patriots postgame, 4 o'clock. Be there or be square. We're going to use the same little graphic we used for this one. It seems like every time I made one of these thumbnails, blue and red, it's been easy to go with. So little red for the Patriots, little blue for the Titans. It'll be back with the same thumbnail. We'll be able to do that. We'll be able to do it with the Bills. We'll be able to do it with the Colts. So much red and blue. It's an easy color scheme to go with. And it's a lot of what the Patriots have been dealing with this year. Anyway, thank you guys. You have a good one, bro. I'll be here next Sunday right after the game. I hope all you feel like Mike. Mike, thank you for tuning in, being active in the chat. Always appreciate that. Going to be happy to see you next week when we play the Titans. And hopefully, Patriots can pick up that W and keep the win streak rolling. And then we'll really be talking about arguably the best team in the NFL. That'll be a good one. Thank you guys one more time for tuning in. Once again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all the buttons, whatever you need to hit. Thank you guys. And